I often make the walk from the Hofstra campus to Hempstead to visit a friend. As a student, it's hard to ignore the warnings from public safety to be vigilant when you leave campus, so I prepare myself for the trip, blending to avoid confrontation. I mentally map my short trip and think about the safest places to walk. By now, this is normal to me. My name is Christian Poy, and in the fall of 2009, I started my undergraduate studies at Hofstra University. Tonight, as I make my walk off campus, I remember my first time here. I loved the overall campus look and feel and could not wait to start. My reality was turned upside down when I moved in for my first semester. One day while driving down Fulton Ave to the supermarket, I discovered the tremendous difference between Hofstra and the community surrounding it. Leaving campus for the first time was a culture shock. The village of Hempstead was a different place. Fast food everywhere, roads unfinished, liquor stores and gas stations. It was immediately clear to me that, though this community could have many wonderful assets, there was injustice here. Over the last 4 years, I have spent time learning about Long Island's history. One thing I have learned is that it's diverse but also very segregated. In my classes, I learned the history that in the 50s, due to racist policies and institutions, people of color were denied certain rights and prohibited to live in certain parts of the island. The legacy of these policies have locked Long Island in a pattern of immobility for communities like Hempstead. I have also learned in my classes about how our physical environment impacts our genetic makeup and our health. I have learned that communities of color in Long Island, like Hempstead, have more stress compared to more privileged communities. The stress that comes from not knowing if you have enough money to pay your bills, the stress of safety concerns, from lack of adequate housing, from fewer transportation options, the stress that comes from racial prejudice. In my pre-med studies, I have learned about the biological processes associated with stress, that it creates physical changes inside our bodies, high blood pressure, diabetes, and obesity. And I know that the rates of these issues are higher in communities of color on Long Island. Now for me, this is just not theory. My body is very familiar with the feeling, thrill, fear, and constant vigilance associated with stress. I spent the first half of my life in the Democratic Republic of Congo. When I was 6, a week-long skirmish between militia groups broke out in our neighborhood. I heard the sound of bullets and bombs outside my backyard. It was one of the scariest moments in my life. It was like the end of the world. We hid in the basement for almost a week until we were sure it was safe. The horrific scene was something that no human being should ever live to see. Vigilance became part of our everyday lives in order to survive. As I re-enter the campus borders, a feeling of relief and release falls upon me. It is only after my trip that I realize that I've been carrying that stress inside of me.